Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Brian Blakely. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officers say overall, violent crime is down 20% in the city, but several high-profile murders in the past few months are leaving some neighbors feeling unsafe, particularly in Uptown. Queen City News reporter Caroline Boyer talked with state and federal lawmakers, a Republican and Democrat, about what needs to be done to make people feel more secure.
Lawmakers I talked with tell me even if the numbers show a decrease in crime, the public perception problem needs to be fixed to ensure people want to keep spending time in Charlotte. To do that, they believe there's work needed on local, state, and federal levels.
If you don't feel safe, you're not safe, and too many of the citizens throughout the city aren't feeling safe.
Charlotte leaders say they're aware many people are on edge after several uptown shootings and the highly publicized stabbing death of Irina Zarutska on the Cats Blue Line train. That's despite Charlotte-Mecklenburg police commanders saying homicides are down 24%, aggravated assaults are down 19%, and robberies are down 22%.
I think CMPD has made remarkable strides, even with struggling with vacancies in the force and with the judicial system budget being cut. I think they could do a lot more, but I think that requires the General Assembly to do a lot more.
I'm not quite sure where their numbers are coming from. I think on a deeper dig, there's some statistics that kind of got my attention that really murders are up 200%. In the first 3 quarters of 2025 in Uptown Charlotte.
Republican Congressman Mark Harris is quoting numbers from the local Fraternal Order of Police, which wants National Guard troops in the city.
If there is a situation that is become very dangerous, and there's certainly federal interest involved here, I think that's something that we need to take a look at and have that conversation.
No good has come of the National Guard rolling out to any city in the United States, not to mention the massive violations of federal law.
Democratic State Representative and lawyer Laura Budd says she's not surprised to hear more than 60% of the violent crime arrests in the city involve repeat offenders.
There are going to be people who simply need to be removed from the streets. They've got to spend more time behind bars. There are going to be people, how many of them statistically have mental health issues?
Budd believes the General Assembly needs to put a focus on public safety and mental health solutions. I asked Congressman Harris what can be done at the federal level to help keep violent repeat offenders off the streets.
Well, I think that's one way that the federal government can step in and say, hey, if you're pushing cashless bail in your jurisdiction, if you're defunding the police in your jurisdiction, we don't be looking to taxpayers across America to fund your state and local laws.
CMPD is rolling out 2 new initiatives. One of them is focused on improving nighttime safety in Uptown and South End by having more visible patrols. The other involves stricter enforcement and more collaboration with community partners. The goal of both is to start rebuilding trust and confidence in policing. In Charlotte, Caroline Boyer, Queen City News.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.